Some of these missing children are sold into the international slave trade. For centuries, the so-called elite and ultra-powerful have preyed on the most vulnerable and precious of society. Now, more than ever, there is a global demand for children. There are auctions where such victims are sold as sex slaves to international bankers, politicians, and the very wealthy.
Give any indication of how much it costs to buy one? Because what I'm saying is that this is not going to be done cheaply, and it's not going to be done for free.
We've heard estimates of about $50,000 to $75,000 per child, depending on the features and the looks of that child, the innocence, prepubescent children. There are also, and this has been documented by a number of private investigators who researched it, that periodically auctions take place in the United States. Different places, they move around. They don't just set up shop in one spot and publish a notice that there's going to be an auction. It's done very secretively, and they might run 10 to 20 kids at a time through an auction block. And the buyers can be from foreign countries or whatever. And then the child would never have a hope of ever getting back to his own country.
Former head of the LA FBI, Ted Gunderson, spoke about one such auction location outside of Las Vegas, where Illuminati bankers and Middle Eastern royalty come to buy American children.
What do they do with these kids that they kidnap? Paul Benassi has attended 6 auctions where they auction children. Any age from 3 and 4 all the way up to 21. They put a tag around their neck. They're in their underwear. They have a number on the tag. And people down below bid on them. The kids sell for between $15,000 to $50,000. I've even heard of one kid going for $100,000. One of the locations outside of Las Vegas, about 50 miles outside of Las Vegas, and I located it. It's an airstrip. I went up with a friend of mine and we found it. And there were airplanes there. There were campers there. There were men who, with foreign accents. There was a police officer there, at least somebody in a uniform. Kids are auctioned off and put on the airplane, and nobody knows what's happened to them.
These trafficking rings use various control methods to keep victims enslaved. Johnny Gosh's mother, Noreen Gosh, claims the group that kidnapped her son actually branded their victims.
And one of the other things that they did to all of the victims of this particular ring, I'll call it, was brand the children.
That's right, yeah.
They used a branding iron, and they would heat it up, and the kids were branded. Someplace on their body.
Yeah.
A leg, a shoulder, a hip, it didn't matter. It would just be someplace on all of them. And the kids were told that because of that brand, no matter if they tried to change their other physical features or appearance, these people would always be able to find them.
But child trafficking rings are only the tip of the iceberg. There are even darker forces at work behind child disappearances. No doubt some children end up the victims of satanic cults. Since ancient times, children have been the preferred sacrifice of strange gods and demonic deities. The Bible warned Ammonites against making their children pass through the fires to Molech. These same arcane practices are still practiced today. According to Satanist Aleister Crowley, a male child of perfect innocence and high intellect is the most satisfactory and suitable victim for sacrifice.